All right, I'm doing a series of readings right now on various world leaders. And this was a requested one, actually, but we're going to start with Benjamin Netanyahu. And I do not know really anything at all about any of this stuff, right? So, what I'm doing is imagining that Benjamin Netanyahu is sitting down here with me for a tarot reading. So we're just going to do kind of a general reading and go from there. We'll see what we get. Okay. So the root card is a reversed Nine of Pentacles, and the main card is the Eight of Wands. So right away, with the Nine of Pentacles reversed as the root, the nine is about having the money to do the shit that you want to do, right? This thing being upside down is showing a core here of maybe not having the resources to do the things that he wants to do. Now, that can be challenging because the Eight of Wands is showing harvest time, right? So here there's energy that has grown over a long period of time and it's ready for harvest. So the Eight of Wands is kind of an impulsive decision, but it's been a long time coming. So this is harvesting all of this energy that has grown over a long period of time. Let's just see what is before and after this Eight of Wands. Okay, so before the Eight of Wands is the reverse Chariot. Now, the Chariot itself is having a clear goal and sort of having clear short term goals toward a further destination, right? But it's about being very clear in what direction you're going. And the Chariot reversed, either there is no clarity on actual purpose or it's like being stuck. Now, here, it's like being stuck probably from not having the resources to go wherever he's trying to go or do the thing that he's trying to do. Now, as this moves forward from this harvest time, we'll say, as it moves forward, we end up in an Eight of Swords. So the Eight of Swords is being stuck and being filled with anxiety. What the Eight of Swords is trying to do is get the person to do something drastic or something rash, right? So here the moon is fucking with a person's head and they're about to jump out the window. And if they jump out the window, they land on all the swords. Now, here in the card, the sun is coming up. And if the person doesn't do anything rash in the short term, then if they wait, then, the anxiety will like let up or whatever. Okay. Now, where do we go from here? So I guess we'll look at the Eight of Wands and just sort of see what is going on here. And I'm imagining that Benjamin Netanyahu is asking me, so what is this Eight of Wands all about? And we get the Six of Cups. So the Six of Cups is the old story. Now, honestly, it would be hard for me not to read this as like a prophecy, right? But the Six of Cups is the old story that has always been told. And when we look at this, it looks like if this is a prophecy, then it would be the specific time to sort of enact this prophecy or to, I guess, fulfill his role in it. But here with this reverse Nine of Pentacles, it would show that he might not have the resources to necessarily do it. Okay. Now, and if we look at this too, then this would add a bunch of pressure, right? And it's like maybe he doesn't have the things to do what he's trying to do, but his hand is kind of being forced to do something anyway. So I guess we'll look with this natural progression and this Eight of Swords, like, where does this go? Like, if his hand is forced, then how does that turn out? And we get the reversed Emperor, which is a lack of control or being controlled. Okay, now let's just see what would happen if instead of being forced into action, if he would chill, right? And then we get the Justice card. So the Justice card is like fairness, equilibrium, and balance. This would be like getting back what you put out. All right. Now, I'm going to collect these. And these are way open to interpretation, and I'm not trying to fucking force any sort of my own interpretation into these other than what I plainly see in the cards, because I don't know anything about any of this stuff. So I'm going to look at like personal health, right? And we're going to do like a body health and then like a spiritual, emotional health card. So body health, we get a Six of Wands. So the Six of Wands is recognition. But as far as body health goes, this would be like blooming or like coming out of a cocoon and coming out like stronger and whatever. So for body health, this looks good, right? Now let's look at spiritual and emotional health. And I think that is on the top. So we have a Knight of Wands. That's an interesting card to come out here. And let's just see what it is charging toward. And we get the Death card. Okay. So spiritual health, I mean, this makes sense in the current situation. But the Knight of Wands, this is an impulsive soldier. Charging into battle. Charging toward what? Death, right? Now, in the Death card, there is something here that is old, like an old child that is being sacrificed to make room for the new thing. And the Death card there is pregnant and about to give birth to something new. So spiritually, as far as spiritual health goes, this looks like it would all be completely tied to the military stuff. And you wouldn't figure that that would necessarily be good for spiritual health, but this doesn't show ruin. This just shows charging into death, but charging into like creating death. It's not like charging into death of himself. Alrighty. Well, let's just see what else we got going on here. What is it, I guess, that Benjamin Netanyahu should know? Maybe hidden elements or whatever. Let's just take a peek. All right, we get a Hanged Man. Let's see what the Hanged Man is like waiting for. But the Hanged Man itself basically is showing needing an alternative perspective, right? So the Hanged Man hung himself upside down. And that was specifically because things were not going the way that they were trying to make things go. And they just were like, okay, fuck it. I'm going to stop and I'm going to look at things from a different perspective. What I'm really getting out of the Hanged Man is sort of being bound for a specific amount of time as we look at the clock there. But what is the thing that is being waited for? A Two of Pentacles. Okay, so I guess first off, that's saying that there's two different things. There's two different things that he's like waiting for. And let's see, what else wants to come out here? Now, this is probably going back to the resources thing again. The Six of Pentacles is generosity here, someone with abundance giving to this ghost. But this person can give every fucking thing in the world to the ghost, and it isn't going to change the fact that this is a ghost, right? So it's giving, but not necessarily changing anything. And in the Temperance card here, we have patience. So this is patience and greater understanding, taking two very opposite things and sort of gaining a perspective from each of them to create the greater perspective that comes from the two things being blended. Now, I mean, I could read current political stuff into that because their resources are coming from the United States government, right? And supposedly the United States government is like, well, you need to change the way that you're doing things. Now, here, the cards are showing that that might actually be true, that it could happen that the United States would pull funding if something isn't changed and like a different perspective or like some sort of patience is there. I'm actually going to pull a card to see if that is the case. If there is an actual threat of the United States government pulling their funding, and we get the Fool, we also get the Queen of Wands. Now this is like, even though the Fool is actually like the Joker, right? The Queen of Wands is almost like this wild card, and it shows up in all of these, the World War III readings and like these different world political things, and I still honestly do not know what it's talking about. The Queen of Wands is some world leader, and I think it's a woman, but I'm not sure. And it shows up in a lot of these readings, and I fucking really don't know what to make of it. But the Fool is like a brand new deal. So, as far as the funding sort of being pulled by the American government, I think the Fool is showing some bigger fundamental transformation. Like everything is different. The whole freaking situation would be different. The Fool is the beginning of a brand new journey and like the start of a new world. But here it's coming with the Queen of Wands. Now, if the Queen of Wands is a world leader, the Queen of Wands is amazingly charming and beautiful. And like everybody wants the Queen of Wands to pay attention to them, right? And she kind of needs this sort of recognition and adoration. But it looks like she gets it. So here we have some. I'm going to pull one more on this Queen because it's shown up so many times in these readings. So let's just see, is this someone who is already on sort of the world stage? And a reversed Ace of Swords would probably say no. If this showed up upright, I would say yes, and that it was like some sort of military figure. But this thing is showing up reversed, so I guess that means no. And I'm going to pull one more on it just to see if we can get any clues. And it's another reversed ace, the reversed Ace of Pentacles. So I don't know. I mean, I think this is new. This is like a new emerging factor in all of this geopolitical stuff that changes the whole fucking game. And I think the cards have shown this several times, and it's sort of floating out there in space. So I guess time will tell. But that's what we have here. I'm going to do a series of these readings just on various, political figures or world leaders or whatever. And if you have a question that you would like me to do a reading on, or if there's a leader that you would like to see a reading on, then hit up the Patreon page. And for as little as $5 a month, I will do your reading requests. That's what we have for now, and peace.